Well, hello and welcome to Blue Garden Cottage. No, I am not talking to you about the crafts today. I am literally just finishing them off. So I'm chatting to you while I'm finishing them off. There's a couple of things that I wanted to share with you today, just about the self-reliance stuff. There's a few of the self-reliance things I've been doing this week and more to come. Okay, now just give me a second and I'm going to finish off these now. Okay, I have done a self-reliance. I've done quite a few self-reliance videos about what I think and feel about it. So I think I'll just put a link into those. So yeah, I think there are so many different ways of looking at self-reliance, and I've said that before, and that it changes. What it is depends on the person and your life and the way you live your life and the way you do things. It's all a very personal thing. I'm mumbling, aren't I? It's because I'm trying to do two things at the same time. It's a bit silly. I'm nearly done there, but now hold your horses. You'll see this when it's all done. Right, they're not all done yet. They're almost done. So I will show you when they're done. But now back to self-reliance. I was thinking about some of the things that I do as far as self-reliance goes, and we know about the food storage and the gardening and our efforts in doing those things to be at least self-reliant and self-sufficient as far as possible with growing, storing and using the food that we can from here, and also building a food storage for resilience, because obviously in a suburban garden we're not going to be able to produce absolutely everything that we need. That's just not possible in a small suburban garden. I'm sure that there might be some people who actually do. I wish they'd get in contact with me, and I wish they had YouTube channels and tell me how they do it, because to be completely self-sufficient and have everything that you need to produce from your own suburban garden is very, very difficult indeed. Food-wise, you can almost do that. I mean, your climate, it depends a lot on your climate as well, and how big a suburban garden you've got, because lots of suburban gardens are actually small here in the UK, very small. Ours is actually a fair-sized suburban back garden, bigger than most people's. So I count us very fortunate in our home and garden here to have the space that we have. But most people in the UK have, some people only have a tiny little courtyard. But for us, it's to get as close as possible with what we have as we can. There you go. That's the aim anyway. But okay, I'm just a bit tired. It's a fairly gloomy day. We've had a very stormy week really so far, and I have still got a load of things to do in the house today, but I will make sure that you get this video first before I do anything else. I am, as I said a moment ago, I was thinking about self-reliance. There you go, that's better. Hello. I was thinking about a different aspect of it, in that I do not have a supervisor or manager behind me all the time telling me what I need to do, when I need to do it, how they want me to do it. I don't have anybody checking on me to make sure that I am doing it, whatever it is I'm doing. Everything that hubby and I do here, and I do most of the garden stuff, he helps where I ask him to when he can. Sometimes I should ask more. But I have no supervisor except myself. I am the only one who's responsible for making me do what I do. I'm the only one responsible for whether I do it or not. And I have that freedom to choose whether I want to do what I'm doing or not. I can choose whether I want to do the gardening today or not. or whether I want to do any crafting, that is entirely up to me, and I'm not going to lose a job over it or anything like that. So I really treasure and value that kind of freedom to be able to do that. But then I'm also very grateful for examples in my childhood from my mum and other people around me that have been towering examples of being responsible enough to knuckle down and do what needs to be done. The only one who can motivate myself. There's nobody else that can do that for me. Nobody else can motivate me. Nobody can egg me on or anything like that. That is up to me. No matter what anybody else says or does, even if there was somebody who was nagging, I would still be entirely responsible for how I do it and what frame of mind I do the things that I do. I choose to get up in the morning when I do, so that I could be awake when the day starts. I could get up later and just kind of fall out of bed, get dressed, grab my keys and get out the door by 6 o'clock. But I don't. I choose to get up before that so that I could mentally set myself up for the day, that I could do some reading, read my scriptures, that I could have some meditation time, that I could just have a cup of barley cup and just set myself up wide awake before I leave the door, before I leave out of the door. I choose to then come back, look at that Kanban board, look at the house and see what needs doing that's not on the board, and get on with stuff. I'm the one who prioritizes what needs doing when. And I do all those things because, as I've said to you before, I can't stand chaos. It stresses me out something terrible. And I'm not a control freak, because I don't have to have everything done specifically my way, and I'm not going to lose my mind over not doing it my way or not having it happen that way. I breathe deeply, I sigh, sometimes just bow my head, palm face. But then I look up, I take another deep breath, and I just get stuck in. I adapt. I am strict on myself to make sure that I am adaptable. If things aren't going the way I planned and the way I need them to go, then I will just adapt. And nothing falls apart if my targets aren't met. Nothing falls apart if I haven't moved something on the Kanban board to done. Because as you know, if it doesn't get done, it doesn't get done. I just prioritize the most important things. And there's some things that if they're that important, then I get them done first. Then I know they're done, they're out the way, and then I can carry on with the next stuff. And it gives me a peace of mind that I can, at the end of the day, I know I will have achieved something. I've shown you the Kanban board before. It is still working for me. It is still helping to actually get stuff done, as is this. And I'm my own timekeeper. So I am telling myself I need so long to do this kind of thing, and I will do it on these days because I know that those days are the ones I've got. So I am my own timekeeper. So at the beginning of the week, the beginning of last week, I was 3 days behind almost. So I knuckled down extra hard this week. I forced myself to stay up late a couple of nights. And it was 11 o'clock stop, so I carry on working and painting and stuff like that until my eyes are blurring and I cannot see where I'm going. If I can't see what I'm doing, if I'm dropping stuff, then I know it's time to quit. But because I did that, because I was strict on myself and I took the decision to work late, I caught up. The work is done on time. And I'm back where I wanted to be. And that is all down to determination to do and achieve something when I said I want to do it. And it's entirely, as I said, up to me. So that part of self-reliance for me has been one of being strict on myself. I think it has helped a lot over the years of having a pattern of attempting to fast, because I have never been very good at fasting. I've always tried. There is at least one opportunity every month for a day of fasting, but it's also, the more important thing is about gaining an ability to master myself, master my own attitudes, my own what do you call it? It's an opportunity for me to say I am the boss to my body. And I am still working on a huge amount of stuff, especially food. As you know, we're practically totally vegan now, with only a few vegetarian things left now. And we're heading towards whole food, plant-based, rather than just vegan. So we are getting there, and it's very slow. But we have a few issues. I have a few issues. Number one, cookies. Oh my goodness, and they are not vegan. Cookies, there are a couple, but mostly they're cookies, occasionally crisps. I think bread is one, but we usually make our own now. Very rarely do I buy, unless we've had a week like this week when I've had to buy some bread. Cookies, breads, what else? Don't have chocolate much anymore. That's not vegan. I've tried the vegan ones, it doesn't measure up. Although I think Sainsbury's has one that's very nice. I can't remember. I haven't been there for a while. But yeah, so it is helping. And there is going to come a time when I've got everything sorted out the way I want it in the garden, because we have to finish the garden by the spring. All the projects in the garden have to be finished. We have actually ordered some metal for the raised beds, because when we priced up all the wood that we would need and how long it would last and have to fork out again, it worked out more expensive to buy wood than it would to be buying corrugated metal. So we now have to get the framing wood. So I've ordered the metal, that will be coming tomorrow. The framing wood has to wait a few more weeks, because I've spent that allowance because of my self-reliance. And there's another thing that it helps me with mastering myself, is my self-discipline in managing budget. Managing our budget is what helps us to go from week to week or fortnight to fortnight and stay within our means, not to spend more than we have or than we get in. But I don't want to just live paycheck to paycheck kind of thing. I want to be able to live below our means, to build up a reserve and be able to do the things that we need to, so that we're saving up and then ready to go completely independent of any support. So, I mean, that's what we've been trying to do so far. We've been saving up from whatever monies we get in, we've been saving and scrimping and trying to live below our means, so that we could save up and, you know, fill these projects, which is what we're doing. So I think the self-discipline part of self-reliance is helping us a lot to stay out of debt, to stay within our means and be able to have that freedom. Now, once the projects are done in the garden, there was something else that needed, we've got to do, I forgot the fireplace. We had the chimney swept this week. It passed with flying colours. It was fine. But as far as the wood burner goes, we were advised, and we know the chimney sweep well. He's helped us before in a previous property. And we trust his judgment in that it is safest at this point, because it's not yet compulsory, but I'm sure it will be. But because he said it was not, it's still only advisable here that we have a flue liner. And to have the flue liner involves getting up on the roof. It involves putting up a new chimney pot and a cowl and the pipe, and then the adapter for the pipe for the flue liner to the pipe of the burner, and then the pressurized smoke test. So all of that still has to be done, and that will cost quite a lot of money. It's actually up to £1,000. So the fireplace won't be working this year. Again, that's the second Christmas in a row that we've not got it working, but it will do next year. So we're going to be scrimping even more in the next 6 months so that we can save up to have that done, because we feel that it's important. It's about safety, and it's about doing the right thing for us and for our family and for our neighbors, because anything that goes wrong in a chimney will affect our neighbors. And I think it also will come down to an insurance thing as well. And if it's certificated and maintained every year by the right certificated people, then we have a legal cover that will protect us from any comebacks on that. So again, self-discipline is helping us to achieve that goal. Might just take a bit longer, just as everything else in Blue Garden Cottage. It takes a while to get things done because we don't want to get into debt. We could get all of this done if we were willing to take out loans galore and get it all done in one go. But I always remember the slogan taught to me by a young person once who worked for a debt collection, not a debt collection company, a debt consolidation or debt management company, who help people who got into debt and figure out how to get themselves out of debt. They're the companies that help people manage their debts. And the one slogan, there's two of them actually, one slogan was that there are people who understand interest and those who pay it. So those of us who understand how interest works would not get into debt. If you know how it works, you would avoid it. And there was another one, I can't remember what it was, but it was a good one, and it stuck with me. And you'd think that I'd remember it if it was that important. But as far as that goes, thanks to the principle I learned from my mum really, is that if you can't afford to buy it cash, then you definitely cannot afford to buy it on HP, because that will include the interest, which makes it even more expensive than buying it in cash. So those are the two things as far as finances goes that I try to stick to. Avoid debt as if it were a plague. Avoid debt as I would avoid a fire. Stay away from it. So yeah, those are the two things on self-reliance that I've been thinking about this week, concerning self-discipline and managing myself and being responsible for the outcomes. Yes, I can be easier on myself, but then I won't achieve the things I want to early enough. But I want to get this done. I need to get this done. My self-reliance plan to be able to gain our independence has been going on for long enough. It needs to get knuckled down now. So I need to get stricter on myself, on the budget, on the things, on my time, so that I get these things done. And I will do it because I want to achieve those goals, and I want that independence and freedom for myself. And it will come at a price. It's not for free. Everything you want, if you want freedom, it comes at a price. If you want freedom from stress of debt, it comes at a price, you know. And if it's a sacrifice to give up something that you don't need, then it's not really a sacrifice, you know. So for me, I don't consider it a sacrifice to give up some things that most people would consider a necessity, but are actually luxuries. And it's the price I'm willing to pay to achieve that independence that we're looking for, that freedom. So I've spoken to you about my business plans so far as the homestead goes, and it is still developing. And as again, I mean, it's already October. By December, I will be reviewing that plan again, which I did this year actually. When was it? May or June? I did have a look at it again, and I will again by December. That period between Christmas and New Year's, where I always used to review the past year and plan for the next, adapt what needs changing, what I have achieved, and move on that way. It's going closer and closer to the goals. And I'd like to step it up next year. I think 2021 is a good year to step things up and get moving even quicker. And sometimes I feel it's quite urgent that we do this. And I'm worriedly looking at what's going on and thinking, is it wise to do that? But I think it's the right thing to do. I feel it's the right thing to do, to push it up and move faster. There's something that needs to be done, and I'm going to have the courage, hubby as well, we're going to have the courage to bite the bullet and dive in at the deep end. that is why today I have been, when I went to get a little bit more shopping to top up the food storage that we've been using, I sorted through the food storage cupboard, and I rotated some stuff. I reorganized stuff to make sure. I thought, oh, I've got a few things in that cupboard and a few things of the same thing in the other cupboard. So I put all the same stuff together. And I was thinking, I've run out of space, but because I've reorganized everything, I have space for at least another 3 cans of beans, or another 3 small packets of whole grains. So, you know, it's things like that. I'm making little spaces. We've been using stuff out the freezer, so I was able to replenish some stuff for the freezer to keep us going, so I know I don't have to. I mean, there might be just a few fresh things that I can't grow, and especially at this time of year, that I really want for meals. Probably could go without. I mean, I probably could go without peppers if I really wanted to, but sometimes you want something peppery, with not peppery as in spicy, but peppery as in with bell peppers or chilies or something like it, just something warming in the winter. So because ours didn't grow this year, we've still got a plant, but it's not done much. But I've sorted through the food storage to keep that going, so that I know we could survive for at least a month, maybe 2 at a push, without needing to go to the shops. It does mean that I have to do a lot more with preparation of the dried food storage. But again, that comes down to managing my time and planning. So I can do that. I know that for 2 months, we could live entirely off food storage if we really have to, if we've got no money. And whatever money we do get can still go and pay the bills. I know that I can reduce our use of fuels. We've got the outdoor oven, we're building a rocket stove, we've got a barbecue, and we don't have the wood burner going yet, which was part of the plan of reducing our costs of things, but we'll have to plan on that for next year. So if we could get through this winter and try and reduce our costs even more, then we'll be able to reach those goals. And I'm hoping that by the end of 2021 we will be fully independent. But it does mean that I have to knuckle down and write quite a few more books than just that one that I've got ready. So I'll have to have quite a few ready to keep me going, so that I can build a momentum and have a stock ready to release every now and again. So I'm working on that one, but again, that has to wait till end of December. As usual, I will share with you where we get to at the end of the year with that, with our self-reliance plans. And for now, know that we are knuckling down and, you know, paying the price for our freedom and achieving our goals with self-discipline and self-reliance, to be able to do those things without anybody supervising or forcing us to do that. It's all down to us. So that is where we are, and that's what I've been thinking about this week with self-reliance. So yeah, that's quite a thing to think, that, you know, there's nobody else but us that keeps us going. How do you keep yourself going? What motivates you? What inspires you? What is it that gets you up in the day to get doing what you want to do? How do you motivate yourself to achieve your own personal goals? It'd be nice if you had a conversation with me about that. It's always nice to have a chat. But I'm really grateful for those early years of my life and my mum's example of super scrimping, and her example of living within her means, which were tiny, and she had the 4 of us for quite some time. Her example was just unbelievable. I talk about that in the book, actually. I do talk about those childhood experiences and lessons and examples that have led us to this point. So I think I'll talk a bit more about that with you another time. For now, though, we're out of time. I've got a mountain of work to do in that house. This will sit now until I'm finished with the next lot of work, and I will catch up with you again then. So do let me know how you're getting on with all your goals. Do remember as well to like, subscribe and share if you wish. hit that notification bell so that when I do post a video, you will know about it. All right, lovelies. Have a good day and the rest of the week till I see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.